What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media. It's Monday. It's Mock Draft Monday. Gonna be doing it a little bit differently, but let's jump right into it. Alright guys, I said I was going to be doing this one a little bit differently. What I meant by that was I'm going to be doing this not essentially live, but I'm going to be showing you my thought process and being able to show you guys the actual players that I'm deciding between. If you guys know how I've done these mock drafts the last few years, traditionally I just record my video and I talk about the picks that I made. I think this way you guys will get to see kind of the players I was choosing between, and I can talk about pros and cons of each one of them. Now, one of the negatives is this is going to be a lot shorter in terms of like total research done into all of the players, but I think it's also a good mix up from me just saying specific things about one player. There may still be cuts if I really want to watch some players and stuff like that, which may happen. So I'll say like, hey, I'm going to go watch these players, and then I'll cut, and then I'll talk about what I ended up seeing and my thoughts on it. But if you guys like this style, I'm probably not going to do it every time, but I do want to mix it in. This is on Pro Football Network, but let me know if you think this style or the other style is better. And as always, let me know your mock drafts down below, and we can definitely talk about them. But here we go, Ravens here. We're going fast draft speed, 7 rounds. Here we go. So hopefully, okay, good. Caleb Williams went first. Sometimes they be kind of tripping. If you guys know me, I'm a no trades guy. Way too difficult to predict. And, when we do live streams and things like that, I do like to do it. But, looking at the players available, let me make sure that you guys can see that. Okay, you guys can see a little bit of it. You know what? We're doing that. Switching me to the other side. This makes more sense. Let's see here. All right. So now you guys can actually see the players. Players available. Looks like Graham Barton, guard out of Duke. I don't like taking guard in the first round. A.D. Mitchell, he's definitely a solid option. Troy Fautanu, I know some people believe that he can play tackle. He's a guard/tackle. I think he's going to play guard. I don't really like to go guard. Again, round 1. Center, we have a center. Leonard Taylor, I don't think we need to tackle. Kamari Laster, he's a decent option at corner. I don't dislike him. Kingsley, you guys know I've drafted him plenty of times before. I think I've drafted him in both mock draft Mondays so far. Jordan Morgan, another good tackle option. Ladd McConkey, absolutely not. I'm not a Ladd McConkey guy. Ooh, Troy Franklin's available. If you guys don't know Troy Franklin, speedy wide receiver out of Oregon. I want to say he's 6'2". Yes, 6'2". Very fast and explosive, as opposed to A.D. Mitchell, 6'4". Can still make the big plays. Has played at Texas, played at Georgia, but I kind of like Troy Franklin here, if I'm being honest, because I think what he would bring to the Ravens offense. I don't think the Ravens necessarily need a jump ball guy, but having a guy that is a true deep threat would be very valuable, because I don't think the Ravens have that. They have some guys that have speed, like Zay has some speed, Duvernay has some speed. Troy Franklin is a deep threat. I haven't read his bio. I don't know what this says. Speedy receiver, outside slot. Yeah, I mean that's probably about what I would say. But I think I'm going to rock with Troy Franklin here. Also, Michael Penix available. Love Michael Penix. We don't need a quarterback though, so not drafting him. I'm going to go with Troy Franklin. And if I was the Ravens in this situation, I wouldn't want to trade back into the second round anyway, because that 5th-year option is so valuable. But there weren't any cornerbacks that I was in love with. And, no tackles that I think are just unreal. Now, if a tackle falls to the Ravens at 28, absolutely jump on that. Or I'm sorry, the Ravens are picking at 30. I don't know why I said 28. But next up, pick, what is this, 62 we have. Unfortunately, Braylon Trice just went right before us. I don't know if you guys can see that, but Trice just went. Michael Penix available. Michael Hall, Chris Jenkins, Jonathan Brooks. Jonathan Brooks, a lot of people have as RB1. He's solid. Darius Robinson, he's decent. But here's some corners. I'm not really seeing any tackles. Let's see here. I'm going to scroll down and see if there's any good tackles. Ooh, I'm really not seeing any. And if anyone brings up Johnny Wilson will be playing tight end in the NFL. There's no way a team keeps his 6'6" frame at wide receiver. Um, like he's a good athlete, but he's a pass catching tight end. Let's see here. I mean, Blake Fisher all the way down there at tackle. We may be able to snack him in the next round. So I'm going to stay away from tackle. And now let's look through here. Let's see if there's any cornerbacks that I like. Kalen Carson, I don't know much about him. He's somebody that I need to watch, as well as DJ James. Just going to read quickly about him. 6 foot. Okay. This is pretty bland. Okay. And then coming out of Wake Forest, and then DJ James. Absolutely nothing on DJ James. Max Melton, I believe brother of Bo Melton, is an option. Will Shipley, Braylon Allen, 2 guys that I do really like. I think I'm going to go watch some stuff. So give me a couple of minutes. I will hop right back. I'll cut to it, and I'll figure out which cornerback I want to take. All right, I'm back. I just watched a little bit of both. I watched the Alabama game for DJ James. I can honestly say, did not like that at all. I mean, the film wasn't great. It didn't have, like, all 22 or anything like that, but he did not look good in that game. He looked really bad. He did not look like he was playing with effort. Didn't look like he was really trying to make tackles out there. And then I watched Kalen Carson, very willing tackler. He attacks the football. He had some PBUs this year, but he was the number 1 corner on a Wake Forest defense. And you know what? His aggressiveness is something that I think fits a lot better in Baltimore. So I am going to go with Kalen Carson. I think I liked what I saw a lot better from him. Let's see here. What do we got next? We get to reject some trades. But like I said, I want to check and see if some tackles are available. It looks like we do have some, and we got 1 pick here. We have 2 consecutive picks, or not consecutive, but like within 4 in the next round. But offensive tackle, I think, is exactly where we need to go. Blake Fisher's available, or there's the guy out of Yale. I think I'm gonna go with the guy out of Yale. Really good athlete, a little bit more developmental, but at the same time, I think people are really going to like him after the combine, if he's able to partake in that, and I think he could go a little bit up. I'm going to go with him. I think he could be a really good option. Sorry, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that last name, but we got 2 very close picks here. 130, I'll scroll up so you guys can see 130 and 133. Let's see who's available. I'm hoping that there's a running back option. Show off my picks. Troy Franklin, Kalen Carson, Kieran Amagagie. That's my best attempt. Running backs that we have available. I do like Dylan Laube. I drafted him in my first option. I think I'll try and take him with the second pick that we have. But let's look and see if there's anyone. Ooh, Xavier Thomas is a guy here a lot. And people really do like him. Out of Clemson, people think he could be a beast. I haven't watched very much of him. I haven't heard anything bad about him. Cornerbacks, safeties are decent. Offense, not going with Ricky Purcell. My buddy Ricky would kill me. I do really like Javon Baker. You know what we're going to do? We're going to go running back, wide receiver. I think we're going to go with Laube. Pass catching running back. Can definitely get out of the backfield. He's not crazy physical, but he's somebody that can, make plays in open space. He can also return kicks. I think that's a good option for the Ravens to have as like a backup running back in some situations. And then wide receiver, I really like Javon Baker, a guy that can go up and make the big play. I've watched him before. I really liked his game. So I'm going to draft him because I really like their game. Next up, so what we've drafted so far, we've drafted a receiver. We've drafted 2 receivers, a running back, a tackle, and a corner. One position I think we do need to still address is edge rusher. So I am going to check out and see if there are any edge rushers available. Let's see here. Tupoa. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry to this man. To Zion, out of Washington. From when I watched Washington this year, he wasn't anything special. Braylon Trice was the clear dominant force on that line. Zion was definitely an afterthought in terms of that defense. He was not somebody that people were trying to make, we got to stop this guy. No, it was stop Braylon Trice at all costs, and every once in a while he would come through. So I don't think I really want to go with him. Kind of reminds me of an Odafe Away of sense. Not saying that he's that type of player, but more that like everyone's focusing in on Micah Parsons, Shaka Toney, and Odafe Away was more of an afterthought when it came to that defense. I do not like this size 6'1" pass rusher. Don't like that at all. Cedric Johnson, no idea. Sundiata Anderson out of Grambling State. I do like going with some of the smaller school guys, especially later in this draft. Maybe there's some linebackers. I don't know. I don't love that. You know what? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna look up Sundiata Anderson and see if I can find something. Because I think he could be a decent option, but I wanna make sure before I draft him. All right, we're back. Just watched a little bit of Sundiata Anderson. I like it. I think he looks like he could definitely be an option for the Baltimore Ravens. Very physical. Obviously not playing against the crazy top-end competition that you like to see in a draft prospect. But what I saw was a motor. He was able to get after guys. He was smart when he was playing, but his physical tools are there. When I looked up his size as well, it looked like he was about 6'5". Can play 5-tech, can play pass rusher on the edge, outside linebacker as well. And definitely, I think this is the type of player the Ravens love to draft, especially when you're looking at the 6th round, is get a guy that can make big plays, and it may take a little bit of time. You know what? He can sit behind Tavius Robinson. I'm fine with that, but he looks like a guy that could develop into somebody that is really good, not only against the run, but potentially rushing the passer as well. Not roughing the passer. We don't want guys that are good at doing that. But final pick, I mean, honestly, I kind of like just going best player available here. But, we don't really need a safety. We don't really need a running back. I don't think Jordan Whittington's anything special. We don't need a center. Joshua Cephas, I know people. I actually really do like Joshua Cephas. But I've already drafted 2 wide receivers, so I don't want to go with him again. Jackson Mitchell out of UConn, not awful. I think I'm going to go with Kyle Hergel out of Boston College, just because I think guard is a position we could definitely use, and he's really the only guard I see in here. So I'm going to go with him, Kyle Hergel, rounding out the draft. And now you guys can see. Oh, never mind. I'm kind of stupid. My apologies. We had one more pick. Do we have 2 7th round picks? We do. Okay. My bad. I thought we only had 1. But that's pretty good news though. So we have 1 more pick now. We don't need a center, quarterback. Micah Abraham, Gabriel Murphy. Honestly, I think I probably want to go offensive line again, and I'm going to go with the best one available, which looks to be KT Leviston out of Kansas State. Really quickly, I am going to look up his size, though. I don't want an undersized tackle. I'm not cutting for this, though. Let's see here. 6'5", 330 pounds. That's totally fine with me. I think that's good size. And that is going to do it. So hopefully you guys can see this well. Yeah, so we've got Troy Franklin, Kalen Carson, Kieran Amagagie, Dylan Laube, Javon Baker, Sundiata Anderson, who, again, I really liked. Kyle Hergel, KT Leviston. I think this is a really solid draft for the Ravens. I think this is probably my favorite draft I've done so far. Troy Franklin, again, speed wide receiver, Kalen Carson, physical cornerback, that is going to actually try and, get tackles in the backfield. He can blitz. He can, make tackles in open space. I want that in a DB. I don't want a Marcus Peters type. Okay. Kieran Amagagie is somebody who is a very physical tackle, that is very athletic, still pretty raw. Dylan Laube, pass catching running back out of New Hampshire. Javon Baker, bigger body wide receiver that can go up and make jump ball catches, 50-50 balls and things like that. Sundiata Anderson, physical specimen, needs a little bit of work refining his pass rush abilities, but productive at Grambling State. Kyle Hergel, offensive lineman, Boston College, plays guard. And then KT Leviston, big tackle that we can develop. Don't know what's going on with Morgan. Don't know what's going on with Ronnie Stanley. Thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe for more Daily Ravens content. I'll see all of you again next time.